you can only watch it for the first time once. It'll be interesting to see what we catch and what we don't.
Did you ever play the video game Mass Effect?
This is where Babylon 5 is becoming Babylon 5.
That was great. I love that.
100% completely accurate, definitive ranking of Babylon 5.
I love it so much.
We're officially into it, Jeff.
The year is 2025. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the second time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the second time. My name is Brent Allen.
And I'm Jeff Akin. Brent and I used to be Star Trek podcasters, but then we watched Babylon 5 for the first time, and everything changed. Now we're watching this incredible series for the second time, paying attention to all the things that we didn't know about the first time around.
And listen, I know you guys are worried. Don't worry. Jeff and I are still doing the thing where we search for those sci-fi messages in the series. We're trying to find the ones maybe we missed the first time around. We're asking questions like, what is this episode trying to tell us? And we're doing that. What's our litmus test, Jeff? A hope for a better future, a mirror to society, how to be better human beings to one another. And we know this show is chock full of all of those kind of messages. That being said, the reason we know that is because we've already watched this for the first time. This is our second watch, which means everything from this point forward to all of our listeners out there is full of spoilers, can and will be. Jeff and I could talk about anything from any episode at any point in the entire canon of Babylon 5, franchise, extra biblical materials, canonical materials, I think is the proper phrase. We can talk about anything. So if you've never seen this episode or this show before, stop right now. Like, I wouldn't necessarily usually tell people to stop listening to us, but I'm gonna tell you, stop right now, go back and catch our first watch and do that one with us, and then catch up with us here when you come back for your second watch, because you're gonna want to do this one again.
Absolutely. Hey, Brent.
Hey, Jeff.
We have some stuff that I want to share.
What kind of stuff?
So, this is a place where I really enjoy sharing the incredible reviews that come through on the various podcasting apps that people catch us on. But do you know where the real show is for this Babylon 5 for the second time?
Well, we've always said it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I got a couple comments. I pulled off some recent videos we put out that I wanted to bring here to you.
Hello, YouTube. Let's do it.
So this one's from the By Any Means Necessary episode, or BAM, as we have come to lovingly call it.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that before, but okay.
You came up with it.
Absolutely, I didn't. I'm a genius.
You are, right? It's BAMN, By Any Means Necessary. Bam it. Stuart Wald, 2395, said...
What's up, Stu?
Your impression of Zento is actually sounding a bit more like Jerry Seinfeld.
What's the deal? What's the deal with that, huh?
I read that and I'm like, yeah, that's so great. Signs and Portents Unformed 8 had a couple great observations in their comment, but I want to share the one. So Morden is walking down the hangar bay. And in there, and it's cool on YouTube, right? You can timestamp where you're talking about, and so this was at a certain point in the video. And he writes down, "Though I walk through the hangar of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for shadows are my friends." I thought that was creative.
Very creative, but I don't want to be your friend if shadows are your friends.
Right?
Well, that's Steve Orleans were the good guys, but
I think that's the thing with Morden. I don't think you want to be his friend.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Well, I'm curious.
You do.
I'm curious what people are going to comment on this episode, Brent. We're watching Eyes this week.
I will often, in loving jest, do some sort of an incredibly awful personation of somebody acting in a moment. And usually it's their bad acting, because I am also a bad actor. Game recognizes game, really is what it is. Some people have said that it just comes off as petty and mean. And I just want to say, it's not petty and mean. It's me just having a good time. That's really all it is. And I mean it in all love. That said, I'm probably going to do the same thing in this episode today. In fact, I can guarantee you I will, because this episode, Jeff, contains something that I, to this day, still continue to quote and do a very poor impersonation of. And I hope you laugh, guys. It's meant to be enjoyable and to laugh. Oh, this episode.
It is hilarious. Do you remember what you thought of this episode the first time?
I do. I everything I remember in this episode can be summed up in one word, and that word is pain. This is the episode. This is the episode. Pain! Because that's what happens. I remember this being, Jeff, the very stereotypical first season 90s sci-fi type of an episode. It's a bad episode. It's not great. It's probably not as bad as we're going to make it out to be, but it's still not great, you know? Especially not when you compare it to what we know is going to come later on, which is a far cry from this type of an episode. This episode is just full of all sorts of things. There are some pieces of it that are redeeming, which make it worth watching. But overall, yeah, my memory of this episode is not a great one.
Mine's about the same.
Uh-huh.
I just remember Ari Ben-Zane. Ari Ben-Zane! I just need to always talk like this, and I'm not sure which accent I'm doing, but I'm doing it very intensely.
Uh-huh.
That's the episode. That's the whole thing. I will say, I think this is the first episode on our second watch I am truly not looking forward to watching.
Really?
Yeah. But we'll see if it's different the second time around.
You might be impressed.
Exactly.
You're
Who
like,
knows?
hey, there have been a handful of episodes that we've gone, that was actually way better than I thought it would be.
It's a possibility.
Jeff,
Brent.
would you care to take a walk down memory lane with this one?
I do enjoy this part of our show. Let's do it.
Well, I did go back and listen to our original episode, and I would like to quote you. In fact, we're going to reverse the roles because you did this and I followed up immediately, and I'm going to now do it back to you, and you're going to immediately follow up with me. This is how you recapped this whole episode.
Okay.
I thought this episode was benzene in the membrane.
Benzene in the brain.
There it is right there. That was you. You did that.
Yeah, that is a Jeff thing to do. Like,
What, to take a song and turn it into something here? Yes.
yeah.
Hey, Suzanne, where are you? Suzanne, supercut of Jeff singing. I think you probably
There is
already
one.
have one.
Mm-hmm. There is one.
Please, if this isn't in that, because it's just Jeff just going off the rails on something. Jeff, you actually said that you, despite all the negative of this episode, you really loved the Garibaldi, Lanier, and Ivanova stuff
Oh, okay.
in this episode. This is the episode where we get the motorcycle build.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's this episode. So, you know, we get Lanier's first woohoo at the end of the episode. I'm assuming that's a woohoo. I don't really know. But we also get we dive into Ivanova's past with her mom and everything.
Lanier doesn't know either.
No, he doesn't. He certainly doesn't. Lanier,
And that's okay.
is this appropriate to say? I'm not going to say it. Never
Okay,
mind.
That's fair. Yeah.
Never mind. You loved that many episodes ago, Garibaldi offered to give a drink for Ivanova, and you're like, they pick it up in this episode. And
Oh,
you were
nice.
like, you love that they brought that back. Also, you had big thoughts on this whole thing about the Psi Corps. Remember, you're given 3 choices: drugs, prison, or join the Psi Corps. And you're like, they're nailing this home. This is going to be a big thing. A big thing. They're going to come back to this thing. It's going to be huge. And I was like, absolutely, it's going to be. You know, we did talk quite a bit about the idea that we've been told that no threads are ever dropped in the series.
Which is literally
And
just
we're
quoted.
applying that. Oh, well, that
in the
reminded me.
council
Yeah, Paul just said that in the council chambers and I was getting to that because we hammered that point in this episode the first time, like no threads are ever dropped. So we're pulling all of this stuff that we probably would have pulled had it not been for that statement that we heard from multiple people. I said that this episode would have been a lot better if they'd recast Benzane with Carrie Elwes, you know, Dread Pirate Roberts and that fame.
As you wish.
And yes. I actually really adored the story of the episode. Like the story, just the execution was god awful. But what they were trying to do, the script was actually okay. It was just not done in good hands. We also, and me specifically, and I'm going to own this, okay, this is the episode where we really started going in hard on Michael O'Hara as an actor. Now, we know better than to do that this time around. And it was wrong of us to do it then. It would be wrong of us to do it now. We're not going to go that route. We understand what's going on. So maybe even, you know, Jeff, you and I have had this conversation lately of when does that kind of stuff really start impacting and affecting and taking over? And I think at this point, we will have seen what we know now is going on behind the scenes is really coming to the forefront with this episode.
This was
making that as an assumption.
If this was not it was one of the last episodes actually filmed.
Was it?
On the series. So that would make sense that he was.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go. This was also the episode where I made a demand. I wanted the spinoff of the Sidekicks. Veer, Lanier, and Natoth.
That still needs to happen.
Still needs to happen. That's fanfic waiting to happen right there, right? I also said that I really wanted a tatted up leather pants, black bandana biker version of Lanier that just like as a t-shirt, a picture, a poster, something that just says sexual prowess on it, right? I got to tell you though, I'm listening to us talk about this and I'm just sitting there thinking, man, if I was any kind of a visual artist, I would make this picture. I would make this poster and like hang it up. Just Lanier, just biker Lanier and just sexual prowess over. That'd be great. It'd be so good. I was all aboard the ship of Garibaldi and Ivanova.
Oh yeah.
You were not.
No.
I'm curious going into this episode, seeing how I feel about that now. Jeff, you know me. I'm not a person that likes to put everybody into a relationship. I just felt like these two had something where they could have played off each other. I'm curious what I'm going to think about that going in. I have no idea. Obviously, they never get together and they shouldn't ever get together. But anyway, you also pontificated quite a bit. Current event not intended there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't plan on doing that today.
Yeah.
So
anyway, but you really went off on how ill prepared for this leadership role that Sinclair was heading into this. You had a big long stretch of the conversation. We did ask Jeff a question. At what point could we consider ourselves to be veteran Babylon 5 podcasters?
Oh yeah, the community answered that pretty
fast.
Yeah.
Which I think we have passed that spot. We can, if you and I were to stop podcasting today, we could confidently call ourselves a veteran Babylon 5 podcast.
Yeah, and anyone who pushes back, I'm back. We watched all the movies. We watched Crusade.
We've read some of the books.
We read some of the books. We talked about some of the books. We did a whole episode.
We did the
Superman.
autobiographies that aren't even in. I just recently completed Claudia Christian, her autobiography.
Yeah. You shared that one. Pretty awesome, interesting anecdote.
Oh, there was more than that, but yes, I shared the one. We also wondered if Bester was going to be coming back, if he was going to be a thing,
because he gets mentioned, right?
He gets mentioned a few times in this episode. I wonder if he's going to be a thing, Bester. I try to listen to these episodes as what our audience was listening to us the first time hearing us say these things. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, just you wait. Oh, just you wait. Bester's coming back. Oh, yeah. And we also wondered if the Knights, remember Knights 1 and 2, if they were connected to Bester, like his men or somehow done like that. So anyway, that was that's our first watch of this, kind of a encapsulation of that. Jeff, I listened to the episode. You scoured JMS's words regarding this episode. Did he have anything interesting concerning this episode of Eyes?
Yeah, JMS had a little bit to say on this one. Some of it I want to save for during the episode itself. I think it'll fit better. But one thing, and I think we kind of picked up on this, and especially did later on, but he says that about the time we were delivering Eyes, somebody on one of the nets was going on and on about how B5 continuity stinks. I'll bet we never hear about Deathwalker again, or the Strike, or the Vorlons, or Ragesh 3. And seeing what was at that moment on my TV, I wanted to reach through the computer monitor, roll up my forefinger, and plink that person right upside the nose. Unfortunately, he hasn't found a modem or a program yet that supports that feature. But one of the main purposes of this episode was to show that Sinclair gets some comeuppance. As stated, this was a thing I don't think we drew a comparison to at all, but apparently a lot of people did. There were people saying that this was a ripoff of Drumhead, the TNG episode Drumhead.
No.
Larry DiTillio wrote this episode, and he says that Larry never saw Drumhead. We generally make it a point not to watch what's done on Star Trek to avoid being influenced. Second, the basic ending, which you feel is strictly Star Trek's, can be seen in the Kane Mutiny, A Few Good Men, and all kinds of other stuff. Eyes was a direct consequence of all that preceded it in the first season. It came about because Larry suggested that with all Sinclair has done, sooner or later somebody's going to take notice on Earth, and there would be some kind of an investigation.
Makes it sound like this is an episode that was not part of the original plan.
Well, that's kind of an interesting thing on the last point I have on the things. This episode would be kind of a Cliff's Notes guide to season 1, hitting the high points for those who joined the series later than those who were here from the beginning.
You know what we call this, Jeff?
It's a clip show without being a clip show.
That's what it is.
Yep.
We said in our first thing, this was kind of like a clip show.
Yep. Brings everybody up to speed.
First thing. I didn't know enough to be able to think that was a thing to bring up, but yeah, we actually said that. First time. High five us.
Right?
See, I've gotten this down. It's to me, it's always on this side now.
Like, you know what you
Which is
love?
the
Everybody
opposite.
loves two high-fiving white guys. Like
Through the internet across a screen that's
it's so good. Well, Brent, that's what I got from JMS. I've got a couple more
Yeah.
I'll hit during the episode. So what do you say we dive in and watch the episode?
let's do it.
For those of you joining us for the first time, hello, welcome here. We're excited that you're here. What's going to happen is if you are on YouTube, you're going to watch us watch the episode. It's going to be cut up reaction style. You'll see all of that. If you want to see the entire unedited version of us watching the episode and reacting to it, you can get that over at patreon.com/Babylon5 first, the number 5, the word first, or click the link down in the notes below.
And hey, listen, if you're listening to us on the audio podcasting app out there, you're going to hear that reaction. And then we're going to meet you on the other side where we're actually going to talk a little bit more about this episode and any new messages that we might have uncovered and any new feelings and thoughts we might have had towards the episode. So, Jeff, let's do it.
Let's put our eyes on this episode.
You're fired.
Shalmayan will shortly be returning here.
We know
In
her.
light of the
It's a good callback.
incident which occurred during her last visit to Babylon 5, Ambassador Delenn would like a full security detail assigned to her.
Good idea. Give me her itinerary and I'll arrange it.
Thank you. Excuse me. What sort of machine is this? What exactly does it do?
What does it
This
do?
is where form over function has to really,
A motorcycle.
like,
You ride it.
how do you look at that and not think ride?
Right? It has wheels on it and handlebars.
And a seat.
A vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh, it's more than just a vehicle. This baby's a piece of Earth history.
History. That is an interest of mine.
Well, I've been building
History.
this little
I
piece
am a
of
nerd.
history for the last 5 years, scrounging parts wherever I could.
game recognizes game, Jeff.
Got 'em
Uh-huh,
enough.
totally.
Just figure out where they all go.
Given some time to study this manual, perhaps I could be of assistance.
What do you think?
Person there he is.
Most of the personnel will be no trouble.
I have a hard
This
time
one,
believing this is just a
however,
year or so
anything
before
you can't
he
handle.
gets onto Star
I
Trek
don't have
because
to handle it.
he
Like a
does
child.
not look like the
Spotless, There's
same.
no need to include her.
That's not your decision.
It's not sure the
She will be included. Records don't always tell the whole story. That's one of the reasons you're here, Mr. Gray. Remember?
Man, he's got that long hair like slicked
Yep.
back.
As always, Mr. Gray, when the time is right.
Mars Command has confirmed that the attack on Station Phobos is tied to a series of
Oh,
terrorist
this is big.
incidents directed against Earth Force.
It beats the kick in the
Dude,
teeth.
don't
Commander
interrupt a fat man while he's in the middle of eating. Stop it.
Do I know you?
Darren Franks, Quartermaster Corporation.
That's not his name.
I love
Supply
that.
station, and I'm trying to find out everything I can.
Well, I'm trying to eat my lunch. Quietly.
Sorry to bother you.
Not as sorry as you will be if you don't get up and move. It's not anybody in particular he's talking to back
What do you think
there.
that green drink is he's drinking?
Station House, this is Lou Welch. Pass me through to Mr.
Mountain Dew?
Garibaldi.
And the last gasoline
That's not Mountain Dew.
motorcycle was
That looks like
built in
melted green Jell-O.
2035. Motorcycle was often seen as a symbol of independence of spirit, freedom, sexual prowess,
There it is.
and rebellion.
Sexual prowess and rebellion.
I'm telling it's a t-shirt, man.
Totally. Like, of
Or it's a
all those
poster.
things.
Oh, can you imagine making up a poster, mocking it up, printing it up, and sending it to
To Bill Mummy.
Bill Mooney? Yeah.
Yes.
Like he would probably receive that and be like, "Oh my god, this is great."
You know, it is interesting. Nia points out, we were talking over it, but they talked about in 2035 was the end of the thing. Like literally within days of us watching this the first time, the Biden administration, I think it was an executive order. They had said that, yeah, the federal government will no longer buy gasoline powered vehicles by the year 2035.
You brought that up the first time around too.
Oh, did I really?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We had a whole conversation about it. Yep. You sure did.
QM Corporation is an independent military supplier. They could be looking for a contract.
Well, they could have the perfect cover for arms smugglers.
Right.
LaGrange 2 is a stone's throw from Mars colony.
Have a talk with Mr.
That's
Franks.
a big arm
Walk
throwing a
softly.
stone to
The
Mars.
last thing
from
we
there.
need is a corporate lawsuit.
I like though how like it's not just military stuff. They bring in the whole, these corporations play a big deal.
Yes?
I think it's safe to assume if things hold out the way they are right now, we will still be buying gas-powered
not in.
vehicles. And
I feel like the electric vehicle movement has taken a step.
A moment, please.
It's interesting he wasn't wearing his gloves right there.
Yeah.
He wasn't in public, so he didn't need to, but for the Psycor books, like that's just they wear them.
what's the other pin on his other lapel?
Oh, in the suits they often just
Frank's
wear
business agents for
pins on
Quartermaster
both lapels.
Corporation. Is that
It's a
correct?
style.
Yes, we're hoping to get a military
Yeah,
supply
I just
contract
like
with
there's the
Babylon
Psychor
5.
one, but where's the other
Why
one?
haven't you spoken with
I wonder
Commander
what the other
Sinclair?
one is.
You've been here for 3 days.
Aaron, this is...
Mr. Garibaldi.
Mr. Garibaldi.
Very good.
You know me?
Intimate.
Wow, that's very consistent.
You a drink.
I don't drink.
Really? Good.
You know me intimately.
It's a vile habit when
Biblically?
abused. Makes a soldier weak. Gets him in a lot of trouble.
You're starting to irritate me, Mr. Franks, and I don't like being irritated. It gives me gas.
The name isn't Franks. It's Colonel Ari Benzane.
Oh my God.
Earth Force Internal
It's
Affairs.
Canada.
Your eyes?
I'm an
Jeff, I'm
internal
gonna let you
investigator.
do all the making fun of in this
Gray
episode. Maybe you
is
get
a
some of the
military
flack.
specialist from
Of course you won't, Golden
We're here to make
Child.
a special investigation of Babylon 5 commands.
Babylon 5, come on.
I'm sorry, but between his delivery and then that music going out, that is the cheese factor
Recent events on
Gruyere.
Mars
Like that
colony
is
and
all the
elsewhere
way.
have shown the need for increased scrutiny of all off-world installations.
In what part does Psycor play in this routine?
It is helpful to
Regulations
realize
prohibit
this
the
was
use
like
of
the last
telepaths in
episode that
command-level
they made this
investigation.
season.
There are new regulations,
So
Lieutenant Commander Ivanova.
it's going to be more pronounced
And
right
under
now
them,
than it
all
will be
staff
later.
must submit to telepathic scan as part of an official investigation. Command staff as well.
The hell I will.
What's so fascinating about that is if we bounce up into Crusade, when the dissolution of Psycor into just the newly skinned Psycor, because if you've read the Psycor trilogy, you know that even the telepaths felt the same way. It wasn't a victory for them to have that. But this was the thing they did. They found any opportunity, both within Psycor and within Earth Force, to just find reasons to force people to be scanned. Part of what has to happen, and they worked really hard to make it so. This is a good example of that.
Maybe running the rest of the world, but I refuse to.
Ivanova.
I'm assigning him to my staff for the duration of this investigation.
What?
I like his style.
He brings up a good point that if they're doing a special investigation of all the Babylon 5 command staff, that should include Garibaldi, and therefore he should be prohibited from assisting Benzane. Except Benzane knows him intimately.
Intimately.
Yeah.
Capital I intimately, I guess.
Yeah. That's Garibaldi's response is, well, that's concerning. Yeah.
What's interesting here, and this is our first, so we got some, dive into Psycor and the Mind War, Ironheart and Bester and all that kind of stuff. This is where we're getting it from a different perspective. Though this is Earth Force talking about it and working to bring more stuff in. But note Ivanova's response. Not knowing what we know now, she doesn't want to scan because she's a latent telepath and she doesn't want anybody to know because then she's going to get the three choices, right? Prison, the sleepers, or Psycor. But at the time, I don't remember what I was thinking. Maybe it was just that she was so offended.
She
by
just
what
didn't want to
happened
be,
with her
well,
mom.
I think a lot of this was we were very aware that there's some guff between what we would now call normals and the psychics, the Psycor folk, that this is just a riff on that. We did have that one. I mean, we talked about her mom once, 16 episodes ago.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've talked about her really since.
Not much.
Came
up in the Mind War, but I mean, bloop.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
No, there's no problem.
Then Mr. Garibaldi's second can handle it for a few
Lou
minutes.
can't
I
handle
need
it.
him to expedite this matter.
If he's the second, but it's other dude.
I'll present you with an interview schedule. Sure.
Oh, I wonder, because other dude who ends up shooting Garibaldi in the back. I don't know if this will ever pay off. I'm just going to tell my own story here.
Okay.
But this is part of the whole plan here is to get Garibaldi out of the security thing to give that guy time to rewrite routines, plant bugs. They're already preparing for the coup that's coming in a little bit. So they just needed to give him time.
So they're all on the side of Clark and all those guys.
Yep.
Ready to go. Interesting.
Earth Force law.
He's getting ready to pull a Sinclair.
You're not happy about this
You mean where he goes and
investigation,
reads?
are you, Mr. Garibaldi?
Do I have the Colonel's permission to speak freely?
Well, then perhaps I could begin the work for
Yeah,
you.
this is
With Ambassador Delenn off station, my duties are small, and it would be good to be of use.
Okay, fine. I'll clear you for access to my quarters, but if you damage anything,
I assure you, I will exercise extreme caution.
It's like jumping into another man's half-finished Lego and finishing it out. Be like, hey, I finished it for you. Like, well, but I wanted to put the Lego together.
Right? Knowing what we know of Lanier, though, and the patterns that he follows, this is such a beginning for him. Hey, here's a problem. I'm not only going to interject myself into it, I'm going to do it my way and differently. And sure, it might turn out okay or better. Or I'm thinking about in season 5 when he's training to be a ranger and he goes off on his own and does things. And sure, it turns out great, but also you weren't supposed to do that thing. You put yourself and others in danger for it. So it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool that already we're seeing that pattern in him, but in a fun, innocent way.
That's okay. So stop. So where else do we see him do that?
Almost everywhere. He very often takes a thing and just does it his way. or, comes up or pushes back on a thing, or I don't know. He's just Lanier believes he knows the way that things are supposed to be done and does them that way. It's one of the things that Delenn spends the entire series trying to break him of.
Yeah. Interesting thought there, Jeff. This is why the second watch is so much better.
I give you my word. I'll respect your personal privacy. The only thoughts I'll be looking for are those concerned with your duties in Earth Force.
She's about to
I've
throw
given you a
something at
record.
his face.
I'm certain you have nothing to fear.
Mr. Gray, I'm grateful.
That's the first time she's looked at him since he walked in that room.
When that purpose includes scanning my mind to prove my loyalty, it's not only invasion of my privacy, but my honor.
Yeah.
As for fear, if you enter my mind for any reason, I will twist your head off and use it for a chamber pot.
Yes.
If you'll excuse me.
Grind your bones into flutes for our children, twist your head off, and use it as a chamber pot.
So good.
Oh my God, so good.
I know we talked about this a lot in our first time thing, but like he's legitimately trying to form a connection with her. But like you said, he's chewing those lines up. He got so intense. Like what I want to believe is he was like, hey, I'm going to reach out, try and connect a little bit. But then like her ignoring him just like touched something off where he's just like, no, you know what? I actually have a great deal here. Like I turned out awesome and you're going to listen to me and acknowledge. Like he ended up going way too far because he just is passionate about who he is.
I think he was being very sincere. Like, I'm not going to go any further. This is going to happen and he's going to want this to happen. Also, he was assigned to making this happen. So what do we got to do? But I do feel like he was being very sincere.
I do too. Like this is going to happen. It can hurt or not. It's your choice.
Although that sounds much more like a shakedown than anything else. Listen for this in the context of what we know is happening right now with Clark and Santiago, and all of that stuff. So
Happened in the past year, from Ragesh 3, Deathwalker, the Docker strike, Jason Ironheart, to the sabotage attempt during the president's visit. He's questioning every major command decision you've made.
Let him. They're all
sabotage event during the president's visit.
Yeah, president came to deliver the new this is Survivors. This was Survivors. So
with Liana. That's why she was there. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Because I was sitting here thinking, like, did we see that episode yet?
We did. Yeah.
on
Easy
the
to
record,
forget.
and they've all been approved.
Well, that won't stop them. You know how eyes work. They're like judge and jury. They twist the facts to their own satisfaction and always assume you have something to hide.
All right, Jeff, what is that? Is that haze, dry ice, or what else causes smoke?
Oh, it's just a fog. It's fog machine, dry ice.
Or is that done in by the?
Oh, it's real. I think it's real.
Mama?
Okay, so pause. I want to watch this scene because I posited a theory.
Okay.
When we did JMS's autobiography, that some of what Susan Ivanova is going through with her own mom is actually what he went through with his own mom to an amplified extent. And I want to see if I just trying to remember what he said about her, particularly with his dad and kind of how he treated her and where she got to. I'm trying to remember those details, and I'm not doing a very good job of it right now, I'll fully admit, but I want to see it in light of what we're seeing right here.
Okay.
Don't interfere, soldier. The colonel insists.
Only one way out. She'll be fine. Now, do you hear the birds?
Saw that coming.
Yep.
Only one way out.
So what we don't know, and this is from JMS Speaks, one of the guys behind the masks is Garibaldi's second. It's the actor who plays the guy who ends up shooting him in the back. JMS said that there's a reason why Macaulay was used as tragedy in a dream that was mainly centered around Psychor. It's not really something anyone needs to see or even catch, but after revelations, it'll be clearer. So that's when Garibaldi comes out of his coma. I think it's the second episode of season 2. But basically, it was trying to show, the way I kind of read that, it was, I mean, so subtle, no one could have possibly seen this, but he was seeding.
They already know this is who it's going to be and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I think
I appreciate that.
And I think now looking at it through what I was saying earlier, I think it shows how Zane and everyone are involved in the Clark conspiracy, like because he's in this little vision and everything.
I appreciate something like this so much more than I do. Hey, we're going to make Dr. Bashir an augment
out of nowhere,
just out of nowhere. And it's, or General Hammond actually knew about these guys from 1969, and he's just been biting his tongue and pretending not to this whole time.
Yeah,
like,
just-
when you retcon something like that, I don't. When you know this and you're able to seed it, man, it makes this so much better.
Yeah, it's so subtle, right? Like,
I cannot allow that, and this is the only way to avoid it without putting you in a bad position.
Forget it.
Because
I
she
refuse
also
to
is a
accept
latent
your
telepath, and
resignation.
she knows
I'm
it.
within my rights. I won't have the Psi Corps probing me like some sort of a lab specimen.
And I won't have you ruin your career or leave Babylon 5. You're too important. Besides, I found a way to avoid the scans within the regulations.
I think Sinclair missed his calling, man. He should have just been a lawyer.
Totally.
May I borrow your PPG to shoot myself squarely in the head?
That won't be necessary. This time. I also checked Earth Force law and the opinion of the Senate Military Bureau as to the interpretation of them. They clearly state that telepathic scans are allowed only to determine the truth of specific charges brought in an internal investigation. They are not meant as a blanket for loyalty checks.
You son of a... Interpreting regulations for a senior officer could be considered insubordination.
Should also be considered
sir.
my job.
I am simply exercising command privilege to officially question a new regulation as outlined by Article 35 of the Earth Force Code.
Very well, Commander. We'll play your game for the moment. Harriman, you're dismissed.
But this is my room,
Mr.
sir.
Garibaldi, you will join me as an official witness to this event.
Okay, let's have this conversation. Anyone else on this station besides Sinclair and Garibaldi has this kind of pushback on Benzane, it is going to be unsuccessful, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Basically, and this is the real crappy part of this. Anyone who's not the white front and center male of the station.
Yeah, exactly.
Any of the aliens come at it, nope, you get nothing. Ivanova comes at it, he's gonna press and press and press until she's gone. You know, it like wild, man.
It is, right?
It's wild.
I mean, Ivanova could walk in with the exact same information, right? You know, 435, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
he is going to grind her and be successful.
Yeah.
Sinclair walks in, nope.
And he tries to push back on Sinclair, and eventually it goes to, all right, we'll play it your way, Sinclair.
Although I think I think that a key difference there is Ivanova wouldn't take it. Like, she would not allow herself to be ground down, but she would resign. Like, she would step.
That's what I
in.
mean.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like, that's her recourse here.
Yeah.
Now, I say that. Let's also say Sinclair is also the commander of the station.
Yeah.
He does have a bit more clout than anyone else out there as well. But that's where I point to Garibaldi. Garibaldi also made the same stance. So there's the only two guys, man.
Right. There's some nuance to it, though. Like, if you're the commander of the station, even though a higher ranking officer comes on, you're actually the senior officer because of your post, right? So, like, unless there's orders, or whatever that come along. Garibaldi, we learn, is a chief warrant officer. That means he was enlisted and worked his way up and became a CWO. That's a big deal. Warrant officers get a tremendous amount of respect. And so I think that they both, in addition to bringing what they bring to the game, also have a level of positional authority that even Colonel Benzane can't usurp. As an internal investigator, he's got some leeway, but ultimately, in Babylon 5, Sinclair outranks him.
But that being said, I also say there is a very interesting demographical point here that is also being shown.
Well, a good question, though, Texas Anla'Shok brings up in the Council Chambers chat. How would this go for Lockley? I tend to think that she could Sinclair her way through this.
I think she would, because I think that's how they would have written her when she was a commander here. But I also think in many ways Sheridan would have come to back her up. There, you know what I mean? Like it's still going to have that kind of feel. The other thing about that too, Sheridan and Sinclair are both the respective leads of the show at the time, and that's what you do as a lead of a show.
Right.
Often.
Yeah.
If Tracy Scoggins is the lead of her own little spinoff show, then yeah, sure. But she's also probably going to face a female interrogator, not necessarily a male interrogator, is generally how they're going to write something like that. JMS would intentionally write it differently, though, and that's part of why I love JMS.
Totally.
So, also, as Ben points out, Sheridan would have nuked him. It's not getting old, Ben. It's not getting old. It's still funny every single time.
As for Psi Corps, I doubt you really know
You're
any about
surrounded by aliens, dude.
Especially Ms. Winters.
You're scanning me.
I'm sorry. The thought of Ms. Winters was very loud in your mind when I mentioned Psi Corps. I couldn't help but pick it up. Please, forgive me.
Hey!
Yep.
I am surprised you were old.
That was a seed.
Was it, though?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Why put it in otherwise?
Okay, actually, no, I can say this. I can say this from Claudia Christian's autobiography.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Note from Claudia Christian's autobiography. One of the things she talks. Okay. When does Ivanova's ex-boyfriend come on the station?
That was the Home Guard episode, War Prayer.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
And she had like her stoner guy or whatever.
That's Talia's ex, Stoner.
That's Talia's ex.
Mm-hmm. And that's in the second season.
Okay. So Claudia Christian had a thing where she told JMS at some point, she doesn't like Ivanova is not going to have some old love coming on the station all the time. And she's not going to be a person who's like sleeping around with all these different alien folks or whatever. But she's like, if you're going to put her in a relationship, I would much rather you put me in a relationship with an alien or with a girl. She said that to JMS, and JMS took that and wrote that in for her and Talia.
That's great.
That was like, she's like, I inadvertently turned Ivanova into a bisexual or lesbian.
Yeah.
Now, if that conversation happened prior to this episode being written,
100%,
then I will agree with you that that's a C. If not, then that's just, we have an established relationship here, and that is no more of a seed than Garibaldi and Ivanova being a seed.
Okay.
It's on that same level, or otherwise, yes, I'll give it to you as a seed.
Right.
that JMS has already been like, okay, we're going to go there.
This is basically, it could be basically, hey, so we have someone on the DVD cover who is a telepath and not involved in this episode about telepaths. So let's just remind you that she's here.
Yes. Yeah. Her name's in the credits still. So yeah.
Also,
Texas Anla'Shok points out that JMS might have been actually planning to do it anyway. Which is entirely possible. I'm just from Claudia Christian's perspective. She said she was the one who might have inadvertently turned her own character gay. So
it's great.
There may have been other points to that, other viewpoints to that whole thing, but from hers, that's where that comes from.
Of course, she must have been.
And Katerina says it really could just be because Talia is the telepath that she interacts with the most. So
you are never to discuss my mother, ever.
Tell him.
Is that clear?
As of this moment, I'm relieving you of your command pending a full inquiry before a military tribunal.
What?
You heard me. I'm assuming command of Babylon 5. As of now, I'm in charge.
I would feel like if he were to relieve him of command, it would actually go to Ivanova and not him.
Yeah, I agree.
What's your justification for this action?
Beyond the fact that I'm working with direct authority of the Joint Chiefs, I also outrank you. As I'm bringing specific charges, the regulations on telepathic scan now apply. We will reconvene here in 1 hour to continue this.
Doesn't he actually have to like file like what?
Yeah.
What makes him? What is bringing charges? Just because I say I am now?
Mr. Sinclair will be confined to his quarters.
Yeah, that's part of why he needs the hour before he does the thing. Is he's got to go file the paperwork.
I'll have to go directly to HQ. See if your sources have uncovered anything on Svendsen. But first, get to the dome.
Ivanova.
Take it to the dome.
I'll expect reports from all your stations by 1700 sharp.
It's the email. It's the email that says, "Tell me what you did this week."
It is.
That's what that is.
I've always been proud to be a member of Earth Force, but right now I'd sooner serve them in Bari. At least they've got a sense of honor.
I'll tell you what, I'll meet you in the casino in 10 minutes. I gotta check something
It's some
out.
interesting,
In the
like,
meantime, just stay cool, all right?
Kind of unintentional foreshadow to when Sheridan's like, I can't wear this uniform anymore. I used to be proud of being in Earth Force.
I used to be proud of this, and with what it's become, I cannot be this anymore. Holy cow, that hits close to home to me right now.
Yeah.
Command and the Senate.
Remember Bester saying he'd see you again after what happened with Ironheart? Well, I smell a con job here.
I'd bet on it. Bester said I hadn't heard the last of him after his partner was killed on Babylon 5. Maybe the Colonel is his way of getting revenge. But what can I do about
Jeff,
it? This is all
I am
circumstantial.
100% with you right now. This is all connected.
Yeah.
Clark, The Shadows, Psycor, Ben Zane.
Yep.
This is, what is eventually going to become Night Watch, and how Night Watch, I mean, what Ben Zane just said, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later. What Ben Zane just did is fascism.
I don't agree.
It's
You're
a
gone.
fascist way. Yeah. It's also, hey, all of these things that you have protections for, I don't care. I'm going to find a way to get around it. And you're going to be this just because I say you are. I'm going to now bring charges just because I say I'm charges. You are now doing this because I say you are, without due process, without day in court, without any of these things to go through those processes. You just are because I say you are. This is fascism. This is how it works. This is what it looks like. We're seeing it here in this microcosm where we will see it explode
right
come season 2, season 3 with Night Watch, with Mr. Wells when he comes on board, with all of those folks,
the voices of authority and all the
with Chicky.
Exactly. Yep.
With Chicky. So yeah, we're seeing it here. This is all connected to that, and I see that more clearly now than I ever saw it before. Great call, great pickup.
Big problem.
Ivanova.
That's the second time he's been Ivanova. Can't leave her unsupervised. Oh, he's doing season 2 credits.
Look at her. Ivanova's gonna fight the whole
everybody
bar.
Everybody.
See, this is why the casino set is no longer, Jeff.
Ivanova destroyed it.
Are you gonna arrest me,
at
Garibaldi?
the end of season 1.
Wait.
When they
I
filmed
want to
this.
live to see the future.
Okay, I surrender.
Oxy pills. Help you pull yourself together.
Oxy, wow.
Man, his last shot. Clean up this trash.
Well, we hear about these 1 or 2 more times. We don't hear about those a whole lot often after
right
this.
Commander. Mr. Gray, I thought I'd find you here.
Jeff, Ben brings this up, and this is specifically, I'm pointing this at you, sir, who was such a defensive Bester at some point. You're seeing now why one of the major things we were pointing out about why Bester is bad. He is in on Santiago's assassination. Bester is in on the assassination, Jeff.
Yeah.
And Garibaldi getting shot in the back. He's a part of that. So yeah, while we may not see him for a while, he's got his fingers in all the bad stuff going on.
I never said he wasn't a bad guy. I said all the bad stuff he did, the crew on Babylon 5 didn't actually see, and so they are treating him in a way that's not fair. Like, they're treating him based on what we have seen and know of him.
Keep defending it, Jeff. Go ahead, man.
Until I'm proven otherwise, right? In Mind War, yeah, there was some not great stuff. Not enough to treat him the way Zach does in the future, but there was stuff, and I admitted that.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, he is clearly a bad guy.
Telepaths like to feel the acoustics of a room.
Until in the books, he kind of becomes not one. Weird.
Talent is a delicate thing.
Hey, we get a second Talia Winters reference here.
You're very good at it. That's probably why Mr. Bester assigned you to this job.
You must be mistaken. I don't know him, at least not personally.
He and the Colonel are very good friends. Maybe you're scanning the wrong people.
I like that. And Harriman heard him. He's like,
Harriman, take your place. Sinclair, if you please.
He just plants a little seed of doubt. That's Inception level stuff right there, Jeff.
Right, it really is.
Whatever criticisms we have of Sinclair in this episode, not Michael Hare, Sinclair in this episode, that's a master move right there.
Yeah, that was really good. What's interesting in the Psychor trilogy, the second 2 books are really about Bester. Yeah. And he's held in very high regard within Psychor. People also know he's a piece of work, right? So like it's a thing where like Gray at this point in his career, Gray would be like, yeah, that's a guy. Like he's a big shot guy. He's one of the best Psychops that are out there. We're trained on his stuff in the academy and whatever. Also, he's kind of not such a great guy.
You know who that actually sounds like you're talking about to me? Hulk Hogan. Like that's the way people talk about Hulk Hogan in the wrestling world. Like, dude, he's kind of a big deal. Also, kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, don't ever anything with that guy.
Like I have all the respect for everything he does. We're also not hanging out. So I think is an exact phrase by a wrestler today.
Send in Lieutenant Commander.
Should recorders also not be on benzene?
You'd think, but that's not. Not back then. He's the police. Police
This
don't do
interview
anything
will
wrong.
cite specific charges against Mr. Sinclair, and he and his staff will submit a telepathic scan to determine the validity.
How is this a trial? We've officially brought charges, and now we're in an.
And what we've heard from Zane is he's going to put him in front of a military tribunal. Tribunal means 3 people. And what Article 35 or 38 or whatever said that Sinclair brought up, 5 senior officers. We're still sitting here with Zane. Absolutely insane.
If this is still a fact-finding mission...
I won't be scanning you deeply, but only verifying your responses to specific questions.
Here's the thing. If this is just a fact-finding mission and you're having this interview for the sake of the fact-finding mission, fine. But he's talking about determining the validity of charges.
Yeah.
Like that's trial is what you're doing.
If I were to ask you why you turned a routine investigation into a personal hunt for my scalp.
You flatter yourself, Sinclair.
Do I? It must have stuck in your craw when you were passed over for command of Babylon 5.
Right, Ed.
Passed over for a hotshot without any real leadership ability.
Sinclair, I'm warning you.
There was nothing you could do, of course, until your friend Bester thought of a way to get even, for you and for himself.
You're insane.
Maybe I am. Maybe it's crazy to think that Earth Force still respects honor, freedom, and human dignity when a maggot like you can spit on some of the best officers I've ever served with. All for the sake of your own ambition.
By God, man, I'll have you before an execution squat for this.
Yeah, they'll kill me for this.
I face death on the line.
I deserved it. But thanks to those damn Minbari, you got
Michael Harris trying to hold a face there that he's really struggling with, man.
But you won't be doing their bidding much longer. I'm commander of Babylon 5 now. And all your lies won't change that.
It's you who's lying.
Yeah. Here we go.
Now, okay, for the people who said that this is a ripoff of Drumhead,
Mm-hmm.
that 1,000% sounded like what Lady,
the judge,
like the way she sounded at the end of that episode. How dare you, my daddy, this and that and the other. And like, as people just one by one walked out of the room, leaving her there to continue to just spout this off. That's exactly what that sounded like there.
Yeah.
It had that vibe. It had that feel.
But just like he said in here, so did the Kane Mutiny, A Few Good Men. Like, there's so many other things that had exactly
wasn't
that.
the Drumhead? I mean, isn't that known to be as a story? I mean, Star Trek often did their take on XYZ story.
Exactly.
They did their take on Moby Dick. They did their take on whatever. Was Drumhead not their take on Citizen Kane or one of these? I think Drumhead was known to be one of those takes on another story.
Yeah, the Kane Mutiny, probably. I could see that for sure. But I want to point out right here, this scene frozen, from the moment, this whole episode, really, almost the entire story of this episode has been told on Harriman Gray's face.
Okay, talk about that.
We saw him get fired up when he was talking to Ivanova, like just get really passionate and fired up. We saw the moment that, Sinclair was like, are you scanning the right people? He's like, I want, maybe. And then they had a scene of him while Zane was going off and he's like, he has this thing down. He's just like, this just isn't right. Like his journey as being the military specialist or whatever coming with Zane to what he's about to do. Jeffrey Combs is portrayed brilliantly with just his face.
So while you were talking, I did just look it up to see, at least according to Memory Alpha. Good Lord, I'm bringing all this into a Babylon 5 show. Yeah, there you go. Drumhead was written. Hold on, where was it? Jerry Taylor wrote the script based on a story idea from Ronald D. Moore, who had proposed it, showing the witch hunt along the lines of the U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy's communist hearings, the Salem witch trials, and stuff like that, showing that kind of stuff can still happen no matter how far you are. Now, the McCarthy trials are not that far removed from our own history right now.
No.
75 years ago?
Right.
Ish.
Yeah.
75 years ago. Salem witch trials are a little further removed, but it happened then. It can still happen now. And
in the future. And now.
Yeah.
In my mind, you little...
Whoa!
No, wait for it. Here it comes.
Yep.
Here it comes.
It's over.
It's over for you, Sinclair. You and these misfits you call soldiers.
Hey, I got one of
All
those
up before
PPGs.
tribunal. Go ahead.
Thank you to Wash.
You can't get all of us.
Famous last words from a trio of mutineers.
Colonel, Payne.
So JMS,
you heard it. You heard it. He went. He did it.
JMS had some words on this.
Okay.
So Gray reached into Ben Zane's head and, for lack of a better term, pushed his pain button the same way you can stimulate someone's memory or physical sensations with an electrode or chemicals. It was only a second, and he would have shrugged it off quickly had Sinclair not been there to follow up. It's just but I love that he said it. But you know what he didn't do, though? It's kind of disappointing. Pain! He just said pain.
Pain!
Here we go.
Colonel,
Pain!
That was the moment I was all in on Babylon 5.
Concluded?
I'm sorry, I don't believe that punch cold knocked him out. He might have hit his head on the way down and that did it, but that punch was not what knocked him out.
Painted it and everything.
Behold.
Behold.
The ninja. ZX.
The ninja. Z, just behold. That's...
What have you done?
You are not pleased?
I said you could work on it a little, not finish it.
I do not understand.
I wanted to build it myself. It was kind of a purpose in my life. Now...
Yep. Benzane
in the membrane.
Benzane in the pain. Well done,
it.
Ben. Love it.
I love it.
Oh, it's done. I have made a grievous error. Please forgive me.
He asked for forgiveness. That's how you do it.
You did a beautiful job.
See, look what happened. Okay,
Great, isn't it?
time for a Brent rant. I feel like this should get some. You're entering the court of Brent Allen. He did it perfectly. You were
Right.
just pleased. I didn't do this. Please forgive me. And what happened? Garibaldi was immediately disarmed, and they got to a place where they could be friends again. There is power in the words, is what I've been telling you guys for how many years now.
They seeded the very long night of Londo Mollari right here in Eyes.
Listen, I'm telling you, listen, you may not be ready to ask those words. You may not be ready to hear those words. There is power in the words. It is not a manipulation technique. And if you're using it as manipulation, then you're wrong for doing that. And you should apologize and ask for forgiveness for that, because that's not what it's meant to do. I believe Lanier was very true when he just said, oh no, I just screwed up. I didn't even realize that. Please forgive me. Immediately got them right back to where they needed to be. Yeah. Power in the words, man. Power in the words.
Give me a hand with this, huh?
I wonder if Lanier's going to wear a helmet. Would he need
Never
one?
thought I'd be grateful to a member of Psi Corps.
Mr. Bester is not the type to come too far out of the shadows. And there are bound to be some questions raised over this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, those... Oh, that's what they were looking for.
It's good to have things back to normal.
There is no woohoo.
Please say woohoo.
There it is!
Yes, it is! Yes, it is!
Yes!
Yes! That recolors him looking at Sinclair or Sheridan and going, woohoo.
It was totally Lanier doing it too.
Because you heard Garibaldi before go, wow, woohoo! You heard it.
It's so great. Also, neither of them were wearing helmets.
Well, you didn't have gas in there. You didn't have to worry about a helmet.
Oh, because it's gas that has to do with.
It's gassed up.
All right, Brent, we just watched Eyes for the second time. What do you got?
Jeff, this is an episode, while I still feel had its issues with its execution, this is an episode that is so prescient and reflects so much more of history, modern history unfolding before our eyes, not just in one country, but in multiple countries around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to be very clear. While I am certainly very close to being connected to some of this right now, this is not the only place we're seeing this unfold. Okay, this is an episode that has. I really wish that it was treated better. The script. I will repeat what we said the first time. I love the story for this. It is a well done script. Unfortunately, I continue to feel we were in the hands with better actors. Okay. Listen, Michael O'Hara is presumably at the peak of his illness right now. Okay. And it affected everything that's going on here. We just have to call it out for what it is. All right. Whatever's going on with this guy who's playing Benzane, you had two guys in the worst possible shape they could possibly be, bouncing off each other. You put this into the hands of some better actors, and listen, maybe the hands of a better director. I don't know. It's so hard for me to say how much of this is acting versus directing. And, sometimes you take what you can get as a director, not in film, but of stage. I can tell you sometimes it's just, listen, that's the best the actor is going to give me. And that's what I got. I can't get more out of them because of reasons. So yeah, but I have a lot more respect for this episode now after this watch. I think the thing that really impresses me the most about it, though, is how this episode is so intricately wrapped into the rest of the story of Babylon 5.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, there are things in this episode that if you don't know what's happening and what's coming, this passes right over you, like it did for you and me the first time around.
Exactly.
Knowing what we know now, and Jeff, I'm glad to be able to have you. I'm glad for our council chambers who are joining us live, who are commenting, being able to be like, hey, here's this, and see how this wraps into this, and going, oh my God, it's all right here.
Yeah.
Oh my word. And this wasn't a JMS written episode.
Pretty incredible. I think what this episode does so well, we watched this the first time, we called it a clip show without being a clip show, which Babylon 5 does better than pretty much any series that we've watched. It's amazing what they're able to do. But this did both. This was a clip show. Hey, here's the first bit of season 1. Welcome people that are here now. And it is foreshadowing of what's to come. Like, it brilliantly bridged both things, but you only know that on a second time viewing.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Question from our council chamber. Well, I'm going to rephrase this into a question from our council chambers. Council chambers members, subscribers to our Patreon get to join us for our recordings. Trey says, I'm going to rephrase it into a question. Do you feel that the acting here was worse, or Byron's evil followers in season 5? Which was more cringe?
The overacting and cringe. I think the worst acting was here.
Mm-hmm.
Byron was more cringe.
Very much so.
Still more cringe.
Yeah.
But I think the overacting, the bad acting was here for sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
There's still a piece of me, Jeff, could just be Brent hoping that everything that we saw with Byron was done so intentionally that it was supposed to be like that. It was supposed to make you feel like that. And because of that, that means that the way they filmed it, the way they shot it, the way he acted it, that's how it was supposed to be, because that's how it was supposed to make you feel. In which case, it's brilliant.
I love your optimism. It's so cute.
And if that's right, then that's amazing. But if not, then
not so much.
And it might be the part I'm dreading more than anything else about this rewatch. But
when we watched this the first time, we each gave it 4 deltas for messages. Did you pick up anything on this one that you don't think you picked up the first time around?
So when I re-listened to our original episode, I did not listen to the messages portion. A little bit I didn't necessarily want that to taint, like if I listen to the messages and go, well, yeah, those are the messages I found, and now I can't find anything new. I didn't want it to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I found that happening to me the last couple of times I've listened to it. So I intentionally stopped it, which is also why I missed the part that comes after that from earlier. For those of you that were around for that part, that's why that happened. But here's the thing. The biggest line that rings over everything else. We have mirrors held up to society, right?
Yeah.
But here's the line that does it over the entire thing. Earth Alliance may have its problems, but they can't be solved by trampling on human dignity.
Yep. Same thing I wrote down.
Okay. Let me tell you what this does not say. United States of America may have its problems, but they can't be solved by trampling on, here's what it doesn't say, citizens' dignity.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, human dignity. There is a raging debate right now, and it's probably even within our fandom, and we're going to hear comments on it, and I welcome every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to send an email and have this conversation? Let's have a conversation. Not just yelling and trying to get your point across and bash people over the head. No, let's have this actual conversation. You and I have microphones right now, Jeff, so this will be a one-sided on this part of it. That's the way it's going to feel, but that's the nature of it. Here's the deal. There are things that are happening right now, and the debate is raging among social media online about whether or not people who are or are not citizens deserve certain rights that are afforded by our Constitution here in this country. A Constitution, by the way, which I will point out, has been a lighthouse and something that has been mimicked as republic democracies have spread across the globe over the last 250 years. And I also should say it's not just because it started with our original Constitution, because we picked up a lot of our stuff from our Native American friends.
Yeah.
Okay. That they actually had this stuff going on long before we got here, and by we, I mean the European.
Right.
Folk, but we took that and made that a part of our thing. And that has now been disseminated throughout a lot of the world, not all, but a lot of the world. Certain rights like due process, the ability to have your day in court, ability to have free speech and free thought and not have your loyalty tested, right? All of these things. Well, but you don't deserve that if you're a criminal. You don't deserve that if you're not a citizen. You don't deserve that. Human dignity is a thing, and that crosses citizenry boundaries.
I think that's the magic of sci-fi, right? We can say human dignity on Babylon 5 while in the back of our mind having Londo, Jakar, Delenn, Lanier on there, where it's like, yeah, humans this. And also we're working with an Earth that is united-ish under an Earth alliance, right? Not every part of Earth is part of the Earth alliance. There are consortiums in other countries that aren't. And so it can tell that story. I think what is challenging, and I'm not giving weight to anything here. I'm just kind of presenting the other piece of, if you take it down to the microcosm, then, a human is what? Well, you know what? No, I'm going to talk myself out of it right away, because there's humans on Mars, right? And Mars aren't part of Earth Alliance and stuff. But I think regardless of the dignity, not the dignity, but whose dignity question, you and I've had this conversation. I will never celebrate the death of a human being. I will never celebrate the degradation of any human being, because you are a human and you draw breath. You were created through whatever belief system you have. You were biologically created, and you are a human that exists. You are afforded dignity.
Yep.
Now, what you do with that dignity is up to you. But I don't get to, I don't know. We treat everyone with dignity. I'll tell you what happened. I'm not a cool dude. I'm out doing bad things, taking stuff away from people, hurting people. Like, that's what I'm doing. If you call me a jerk and stand up to me and yell and throw stuff at me all the time, you know what I'm going to do? More bad stuff. You treat me with some dignity, have a conversation with me, whatever. If I'm open to it, right? Like, it's a two-way thing. But I'm a whole lot more likely to hear you and potentially change my mind and behavior if you come at me with a shred of dignity with you. And that's why I will never celebrate degradation or harm or death to another human. I might be glad someone's not around anymore, right? But I'm not going to celebrate the death. We all have dignity. And I wrote that exact same line down because we have a history, a recorded history of almost 10,000 years globally, more than that, of trying to solve problems by trampling on human dignity. And how's that been working out? Not so good. Not so good.
Yeah. And you know what? That being said, to afford everyone dignity, again, I will invite you, if you want to have the conversation, email us to babylon5first@gmail.com. That's the number 5 in the word first. And that's our actual email address. That's not a fake one that I throw out there all the time. Email us. Please. We would love to. We will have that conversation, a dignified conversation where we give you a chance to voice your thoughts.
I'm not offering this, but I'm just giving it as an example. I've gotten onto Zoom calls with people who, like, we were emailing back and forth, and it was very important that they wanted to be heard. I wanted to hear what they said. I got a Zoom call with them. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to listen to what you have to say. You know why? You're human. You have dignity. I'm going to treat you with that, like, regardless if we have different opinions or not. In fact, I welcome your different opinions. I'm curious why you have them. You know, like, I'm going to approach it with curiosity. You might be completely wrong, right? But I'm going to be curious about your opinion. I'm going to let you give voice to that thing. Like, and Brent, you've had conversations with people as well. Like, we're very.
And I want to reiterate what you said, just to stem the floodgate. You are not offering to do that for everyone out there.
Correct. In fact, I'm not offering to do it at all. I'm just, as an example of, we are open to the discussion.
So yeah, we give this 4 deltas. I can absolutely see that. I think it is just as prescient. And here's the thing, Jeff, we cannot do a show like this that tackles the topics that this particular show tackles without having these conversations. We cannot avoid them, and we will not avoid them. You and I have a definite viewpoint. Our viewpoint is not exactly in lockstep with each other and exactly the same. And that's okay. As it is not with all of our viewers.
Right.
So, you know, again, we can have that conversation, and we welcome that conversation in a dignified manner. But enough to say, the scene specifically where Ben Zane just declares he's now bringing charges and that he can now do whatever he wants, and he can now dispose Sinclair from his job. This is the kind of stuff that our forefathers here in this country, in a way, fought to get away from, and provided provisions within our own Constitution and Bill of Rights to prevent that from happening. And it is something that we see being stepped on. Oh, hey, this isn't the person we're supposed to get. Take them anyway. Oh, this person is a bad guy because they were part of this. Why? Well, because that person said so. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous ground we're on. And it's scary. It should be scary. Anyway, is what it is.
Agreed.
Sci-fi is meant to bring these things out.
It is. That's why we're here.
Yeah. And the fact that we were telling these stories back in the freaking 1990s and we're now seeing it again here is so sad to me.
Well, you know, it is, but also a long ways into this thing, but I'll bring it up anyway, right? Like the Minbari believe that we are all essentially manifestations of the universe, right? We're all connected to the greater universe. I believe that history tends to repeat itself, partly because we're collectively stupid, but also because the universe is trying to figure stuff out. And it did a thing, and then like it manifested other people, and it's trying that thing again. And maybe it'll be different this time, you know, or whatever. And I'm good with, you know, I mean, I'm not good with that, but like that's part of like I'm good with that like way of thinking. We're just trying to figure it out, and eventually the universe will figure it out.
I hope
that's
so.
just not going to be today.
It's just not today. Today is not that day.
No.
So yeah, Jeff, a lot of respect for this episode. Still not great. I don't want to go watch this one again because honestly, I don't like having to think about this whole lot. That's the other thing is I watch sci-fi, I watch stories like this to get away from this sort of stuff a little bit. But
right.
Sometimes it throws us back up in our face and we have to grapple with it. So here we are. Jeff, did you have any other things to bring up?
Nope. That was
well,
it for
with
me.
that then, you know what that means.
I do know what it means.
It is time to bring out our 100% completely accurate definitive ranking of Babylon 5 Season 1. Jeff, our current top 5. Signs importance at number 1, 2 is Deathwalker, 3 The War Prayer, 4 Sky Full of Stars, and 5 is Believers. Jeff, you get to place this one this week, my friend. Where are you placing Eyes?
So I
try to avoid recency bias.
I know exactly where I'm putting it
Gotcha.
already. We've had a long time to consider since the episode ended. I just want to share that in our definitive season 1 ranking that we completed at the end of our first time, number 23 was Soul Hunter, 22 was Infection, and 21 was Eyes. That's where we had it. Soul Hunter and Infection are already well above those spots for us. Same thing's going to happen for this episode, Brent. You nailed it. It was the execution of this that didn't work. We just watched a Stargate episode where we got done with it, and I was like, I don't know, man. It just didn't really hit for me. But the construction, the work, the writing, the direct, every
bit of it,
every piece
stellar.
of the production, amazing.
Yeah.
And as a result, it got ranked high, and that's where this is going to land as well. Now, I'll say it's not going to get ranked high; it's going to get ranked higher than I would have thought. And there might be some controversy around it because we've looked at some of these episodes differently in watching them. But Brent, I'm almost a little nervous to say it. This is going to be the new number 11, right below Midnight on the Firing Line and right above Mind War. And almost entirely based on its ability to not only wrap up everything that has happened, but to literally chart the course for the entire Earth Force storyline that is to follow over the next few seasons.
Does it? I mean, you talk about foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And just here it is. Like, geez, like, holy cow, man.
Yeah. Unbelievably and just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Very good. Well, Jeff, that's going to do it for Eyes. We can move on. Thank God. We have a brand new episode. Not brand new. We got another episode on deck for next week. Legacies, Jeff. Legacies. I want you to think back. Do you remember what your prediction was for Legacies the first time around?
I was laughing because it was, I mean, God, we were so far off on some of these things. So I thought that a great leader from the Narn or the Centauri will have to do something dirty to secure their legacy.
Yeah.
But ultimately, to do that, either Londo or Jakar or Londo will have to completely compromise the other one. This was going to be a Londo-Jakar episode, just kind of furthering their rift. Do you remember your prediction?
I do. I said that this one was going to be about Sinclair and the Minbari, and we're really going to find out what's going on with his brain, the hole in his mind, right? And we were going to find out that really Sinclair was really important to oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I have pulled the clip.
Okay.
I want you to listen. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let the recording speak for itself. Here we go. It's not just what they did to him, but maybe there's something about Sinclair himself that is really important to the Minbari. And oh, Sinclair is part Minbari. That's it.
Whoa.
That's it right there. And it's a legacy. That was it. This was the episode. Now listen, you take your laurels, you take your crown, sir, for getting Sinclair is Valen.
I couldn't get there without that, though. You paved the road.
You're welcome, Malige.
Because we, sir, are a team.
High five.
There you go.
It's so dumb. If you're listening to this on audio and you missed what happened on video that Jeff and I just did,
you're lucky.
Go watch the video.
No, consider yourself lucky. That was embarrassing. Just in every way. That was awful. But man, next week, we're going to experience this almost exactly what you just said. We're going to meet Naroon. Like there's going to be
this is the Naroon episode.
It is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Commander Sinclair, you speak like a Minbari.
Why? Because you are a Minbari.
Right?
Yes.
You literally wrote the book on how Minbari treat each other.
I was going to say, you literally brought Minbari culture to the Minbari.
Yes.
Makes you wonder, like when we watch War Without End, those like 2 or 3 Minbari that like popped up and saw him with the Vorlons like flanking him on either side. Why, like, what were they then? Like if Sinclair brought what we know as Minbari to the Minbari culture, what were they then?
Yeah. We'll have a lot to talk about next week. I'm super excited. We're going to do it right here. Thanks for being with us here today. Please be with us here next time because it's going to be a super exciting conversation. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like all the things that you do. 5 stars, say some stuff. We'd love to share those things here on the show. It's awesome. The one thing that you can absolutely do, though, that means the world to us is to share this show. There is a massive Babylon 5 community out there in the world, of which we have some of the most shining examples of right here watching us now. Let's bring more of them in here to be a part of our incredible community. So we're going to watch Legacies next week. I can't wait. Until then, we'll see.
Jeff.
Yes, Brent, what's up?
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. The station is about something.
You okay there, big man?
That one didn't go as smoothly as the one the other time. I don't know what it was. I'm wearing different pants.